Hey guys, I'm Kelly, the nurse who questions. Today we're going to talk about ego death. So what are people actually describing when they talk about ego death? From a clinical lens, it's not the death of anything. It's a temporary disruption.
Every ego wants to exist. The problem is you don't. Every ego feels lack because it knows its existence is an illusion.
A loosening of the systems that keep your identity intact. In psychedelics, you'll see a decreased activity in the default mode network.
We're actually using our brains wrong. What happens effectively is that when you don't have something to do and your mind wanders, it turns on a set of structures in your brain called the default mode network. That's when you think about nothing. If I put you into an fMRI machine, I say, hey man, think about nothing. These are the parts of your brain that are going to illuminate. And when you're feeling bored and your mind is wandering, it turns out those are the parts of your brain that you need to access questions of life's meaning. If you create an anti-boredom machine where you never access the default mode network, you're never going to be exploring questions of life's meaning. And that's what actually lies behind the mental health crisis for young people today. Not only can they not articulate the meaning of their lives, they're not even looking. And the reason they're not even looking is they're not in the parts of the brain where they need to be to look.
And when that narrator goes offline, people experience a loss of boundaries. No name, no role, no backstory.
Most people spend their entire life defending a version of themselves they never chose.
What do you mean, never chose?
Your name was given to you, your nationality assigned, your religion inherited, your beliefs installed, and you've been calling that a personality.
So who am I then?
That's the only question worth asking.
The ego is not you. It's a construction built from every label the world placed on you before you could speak.
So everything I think I am
Is a story. Told so many times you stop noticing it was a story. The ego is what psychologists call the narrative self, not consciousness. A filter consciousness looks through.
So the ego is like a character?
A character you forgot you were playing. For thousands of years, the traditions that understood power understood one thing first. The old identity has to die before a real one can form. You cannot carry a constructed self into an unconditioned reality. You stop being a name. You stop being a body. You stop being a nationality, a history, a set of problems. And what remains is awareness itself.
Sounds terrifying.
It is, because the ego doesn't want to die. It will fight. It will create panic. It will convince you that if it goes, you go with it.
So how do you get through that?
You stop trying to survive it. The terror is the ego protecting its own existence. The moment you stop defending it, it dissolves.
The nervous system interprets identity dissolution as a threat, same neurological response as physical danger. That's why most people turn back at the edge and spend the rest of their lives defending a self that was never real.
Why doesn't anyone talk about this?
Because a person who knows they are the consciousness cannot be sold an identity, cannot be contained by a label, cannot be controlled by the fear of losing something they never were.
So the system needs the ego intact.
Everything is built on it. Every advertisement, every political identity, every tribal conflict runs on people who believe they are the character. The moment you see through it, you become ungovernable.
Sometimes the most honest outcome of an ego death is realizing how quickly the ego comes back online and how gently you now need to work with it.
Now walk it